Hey everyone, welcome back to another discussion. And in today's discussion, we'll talk about one of the topics that we already did in the past. I think this one was from the earlier episodes or the earlier videos. I think it's probably like, I don't know, episode 4 or something like that. But yeah, what I was discussing was about how multiverse cannot exist, right? Or how it's kinda impossible to access, or just questioning if it actually can exist or not, and what is the things that make all of this not exist, cannot exist in the first place, basically, right? And today, we'll answer one of those questions that I had. But yeah, but first, you know, um, I think all of this was started because of the that Marvel movie, which was the Doctor Strange one, and the idea it comes all from Marvel, right? So it came from the idea that there's another version of us, right? In other world or universe, which who picks a different path um than what we did or than what we choose, I think, in our universe, right? And then there's like lots of variants that are different, right? Like for example, what if what if I took a different you know choice than I was picking in this universe? Like for example, I uh, what if I decided that I didn't go to university, for example? So there's this one where I went to university, for example, and then the other one is uh, you know me when I chose college instead of university, or chose not to continue my study at all, just starting my own my own business, basically, and so on, right? So everything has their own path, right? Because of the choices that we picked in that universe was different from ours, right? So yeah, this is like all the backgrounds where all of this multiverse exist, right? And you know, it's kinda it's, I mean, it's all just science fiction movie, right? Um, it's not real. It was not supposed to be real, right? But then, like, people start questioning, right? What if it actually is correct? What if there is actually multiverse and stuff like that, right? But in that discussion, I said that no, it's impossible because there's lots of stuff that I mentioned, right? And one of them was me asking about what happened if two universes collided into the same collided, basically. um like I said in the that discussion also, where if there's multiple universe, right? They all start small, right? Because the universe is the universe keeps expanding, right? We all know that that's true, right? That's physics, basically astronomy, right? um where the space will start expanding, right? Because of it's getting more and more filled with dark matter, I think I would say, or dark energy, I would say. I don't remember which of that actually did. And yeah, so basically there's when the universe expanding, I mean, yeah, when the universe expanding is expanding, there must be something that fills in those gaps, right? And I think scientists has called that dark matter, I think. It's basically like filling your a glass of tea with more water, right? Like at the first you have half, you know, tea, and then like a very you know, high concentrated tea, and then you pour more water, right, until it becomes that. So the volume expands, right? Basically, it went from only this volume into this one, right? And you know, the you know, the difference of the volume was filled with water, right? Basically, you know, there's always something, right? In this case is water. So I think that's what the scientist also has thought about this universe, basically, because it keeps growing, right? So something must have filled in on those gaps, right? And then I think it was dark matter or dark energy. But yeah, so anyway, when those universe keep expanding, right? I was asking about one day it will get very big that at least you know, two of them collides, right? And then what would happen if there is something you know, an object or a matter or energy basically that occupied the same space and the same time at, you know, the same you know, basically the same space and time. That's what I would say. um what would happen, right, if there is two things at the same time and in the same space, right? What would happen? And I think in that movie, it's kind of spoiler but also not spoiler, because as of I'm recording, it's only 2 weeks ago, I think, not even 2 weeks ago actually. But you know, when this is uploaded or live, I think it's already been like 2 months later. And yeah, so in that movie, it's mentioned that there is something called incursion. So the incursion happens if there is something that you know, occupy the this in the same space and time, and that leads to the destruction of one universe or both of them, right? And that's basically it. And you know, so that's the answer that I asked, right? What happened if that's the case? So that movie basically answered that one of the universe will get destruction, gets distracted, or you know, you know, just disappear, I think. I don't know, distraction, and then either one of them or both of them at the same time, right? So that's one question answered, but I still have another question, right? Um, like how or why it's destroyed, right? Is it because it creates a paradox? Because you know, uh, the object from this universe is actually inside this one, right? This universe. Um, so it's basically like the other question that I asked. Basically, there is like two of the similar object that occupies the same universe, right? So what would happen? And um, one of and I kind of discussed about that, where you know, the energy is always constant, and when you know, there is another thing that suddenly appear in this universe, right? It becomes the energy increase, right? Basically, the energy of the starting energy plus the energy of that you know, thing that suddenly appears in the universe, right? So the energy of the whole universe become increased, right? But that's not possible, right? Because the energy is fixed. The amount of energy in the universe is fixed, I think, from the Big Bang. So the energy will always stay the same. And yeah, that's kind of creating the paradox, right? Like, you know, basically we have more energy, and then the other universe has less energy, right? But since this is incursion, so there is always both of them at both universe, right? So basically this one has more, and then this one is also still have more because it's considered into being in this universe also, so it's also increased, um that's the answer basically, right? And but then you know, like maybe this caused maybe this paradox caused the destruction of the whole universe. Probably, I don't know. We might have to watch the next movie if that will ever happen or come. Maybe like few years from now, I don't know. We'll maybe already forgot that I discussed about this, or maybe we'll even talk about this again in the future, right? Just to make things clear for myself at least, because I'm doubting that multiverse exists in the first place, right? But um, yeah, that still raises question about how and then where do this go, right? Um, because it got distracted, right? Like annihilated. I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, like basically the whole thing got distracted, right? But where are all the remains of those, right? Um, is it just floating in the vast multiverses? Like there's another one, and then this just floating in between them. I don't know. Or if what if all of these dust matter got touch with another universe, for example, will that cause this universe to explode also, right? um and then just got distracted. But then if that happens, then there will be more dust of matter, right? That will trigger a chain reaction for the whole vessel or anything that holds all those universe, right? So it's like maybe it got distracted. Like I said, all the dust got shot across the this vessel, and then just hitting more universe, then got destroyed, and then the remains also then got shot into the other one as well, and then all of this also get distracted, right? Because of the paradox they are all creating, right? And so that caused the whole chain reaction until everything inside this vessel, which uh you know which includes all the universes, will kind of explode or got destroyed, right? But that's like still the question, does it work like this or not, right? But so I have the answer about what happened if the two touching each other, right? Or three, or maybe multiple of them, I don't know, touching at the same time, right? But that's the question, and the answer is simply one of them will be destroyed, one or more, or all of them will be destroyed basically. And that raised me another question, right? Like, where's all this remains? It cannot just disappear from this whole system, right? um, because when there is energy in a system, closed system, right? That's still the same energy, right? It cannot just disappear into another one, outside of the that system, right? If it ever goes out of that system, then there will be another bigger system, right? Another bigger vessel that basically holds all of them anyway. So but at the end of the day, it's still inside those bigger vessels, right? And that's like my questions about that. But then also, since I mentioned about dark matter or dark energy at the beginning, right? Or is it possible that all of this then turned into pure energy, which is dark energy, and then it just fills the whole thing, right? Is it the case that's happening here? I don't know. I will never know. Maybe I will know actually. If one of you or some of you actually explain how the space works basically, please enlighten me. And you know because all of us we're learning together, right? Me discussing stuff about this opens up discussion or questions that you know other people can answer, and then maybe they also have more questions that maybe I can answer myself. Who knows, right? But Until then, I think that will be it for today's discussion about incursion. Basically, still don't know how to pronounce incursion. Incursion in incurs. It's it's from curse, right? Um, Wait, now we're learning English. It's curse and then incurs. I think incursion, right? um I don't know, maybe all of these were not connected at all, I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow with another discussion. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.